What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Dominic Rich, and in this video I'll be predicting the third round of AFC 2022 World Cup qualifying, where there's two groups of 6 and the top 2 teams will automatically qualify for the FIFA World Cup, while the teams placing third in their respective groups would meet in another round where the winners will go on to the Intercontinental Playoff Final. Last time around it was Syria versus Australia, after Japan, South Korea, Saudi Arabia, and Iran all made it directly to Qatar. So what I'm going to be doing in this video is predicting the teams in each group from number 6 to number 1, and let you know the teams I think are gonna qualify for Qatar and the teams that will miss out. Well, in terms of that 5th team possibly going on to Qatar, I'm not going to let you know. I'm going to let you know who I think is going to meet in the playoff. But in terms of who's going to go on to the Intercontinental Playoff, yeah, I'll let you know who I think. And I obviously don't know who they'll meet in the Intercontinental Playoff as yet. So I'll do that when I make my final 32 team prediction. And all these videos I'm making right now is to get to that number where I'll go confederation by confederation, and I'll let you know the 32 teams that I think will make it to Qatar 2022. So without further ado, let's get into this video. All right, so this video won't be going too deep into every single team because I've done that in other videos, and if you're interested in a more detailed explanation to what I think about each and every team in this group, I'll leave a link in the description box down below to a tier list I recently did with my friend Football Pharaoh and Ryan Anderson. So you could actually refer to that to get some more insight. So let us start with Group A. Let's predict Group A, where there's Iran, Iraq, South Korea, the United Arab Emirates, Lebanon, and Syria. So what we're going to be doing, we're going to be starting from number 6 all the way to number 1. Obviously, first and second qualify automatically. Third goes into the playoffs, and the teams from 4th to 6th misses out, in my opinion. Remember, these are only my opinion. You could share yours down below. Let's all respect each other's thoughts and assessment here. So starting from 6, I'm choosing to go with potential debutants Lebanon. Lebanon are currently managed by Ivan Hasek from Czech Republic, and I think they were quite fortunate to qualify for this round, seeing that they came through as one of the best second place teams from their groups, and they benefited from the withdrawal of North Korea, in my opinion. But you got to give credit to the seeders. They did what they had to do in order to get to this round. But I think in terms of how they stack up versus the other teams in this group, I don't think they really stand a chance. So I'm going to put Lebanon in 6th. And I'm going to keep it short and sweet and keep it moving. If you have something else to add on Lebanon, if you think they'll place higher, let me know in the comment section down below. Coming in 5th, albeit them doing well in the previous round, is Iraq. They qualified for the World Cup in 1986, so it's been 35 years to this date since they last made it. They're currently under the tutelage of Dick Advocate, so they do have someone very good and experienced managing the team right now. But we saw from the last round where they had the group to go on to win it and ultimately fell short to Iran, their neighbors, their rival, and we have the derby again in this group. So even though Iraq has some very talented players in their team, one that comes to mind is young striker Muhammad Ali, and another one Adnan Ali, I think they're going to miss out and they're going to come in 5th in this group. So we won't be seeing them ending their long hiatus from World Cup tournament. So I have Iraq in 5th. We're going to move right on to 4th. Just missing out on that playoff spot, I'm going to go for the 1990 debutants, the United Arab Emirates, who are currently managed by former Australian manager and the Dutchman Bert van Marwijk. Look, for the UAE, they were in a tough group, a tough Southeast Asian group in the previous round, and they managed to come out of it even though they lost 2 matches, and they were able to wiggle themselves out of it. It's a good team. Ali Mahmoud comes to mind. They have a few naturalized Brazilians and Argentinians integrated in the team, so they could be a force to be reckoned with here. I could actually picture them getting a 3rd place spot, or even go as far as placing 2nd and qualifying. But I just think they're going to come in 4th in this group and miss out on qualification for the World Cup for yet another cycle. 1990 was a long time ago. And that's 31 years ago, and I think their hiatus is going to continue deeper. I think maybe a 2026 they could start a project to qualify for that, where Asia will have a few more places. So sorry UAE, but I don't think you're going to make it. 3rd, for the playoffs, once again, I think it's going to be potential debutants Syria. Guys, remember, I must note that a lot of these fixtures will be affected by the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, and there'll be restrictions, and matches are going to be moving around the place to neutral venues. So that is also something to note. So the home advantage might go out the window, and it's just going to be a weird one. This is going to be a different one. Syria has been playing without a home for quite some time. They have been playing with an adapted home. So let us see how they continue to do. But they have performed admirably up until this point, where they did very, very well in the previous round. They did really, really well. They have been impressive. And they have done so, for the most part, without their big stars, Omar Al-Soma and Omar Kabin. I've seen Omar Kabin included in the squad for the September games. So let's see how much strength he adds to this team. So for Syria, they're currently managed by former player Nizar Mahous, and he is currently in his 2nd stint as manager, and he has been doing a stellar job with the team. So I think Syria they're gonna impress again, and they're gonna come in 3rd. Who knows? This time they might be lucky. They might be really, really lucky to get to the intercontinental playoffs. But I have them coming in 3rd. I would honestly love to see them qualify for the World Cup as debutants. I want to see a few debutants at the World Cup. And for Asia, there's 4 potential debutants in the current round. So let's see if one of them do make it. But if one of them ought to make it, I'm pretty sure it will be Syria. We're going to move right on to the teams that I think are going to qualify directly for Qatar, coming in 2nd and 1st in the group. I'm going to go for Iran to come in 2nd in the group. Iran made the World Cup in 1978, 98, 2006, 14, and 18. So could they make it 3 in a row and start a little consistent run by qualifying, in terms of qualifying for the World Cup here? I think they are. They're currently managed by Dragan Skokic from Croatia, and he has a very good record so far. At the time of writing down the notes, when I assessed all the teams, he had 7 matches, 7 wins, a remarkable turnaround after a poor start in the previous round, where they lost to neighbors Iraq, and it was looking like things were going to get ugly and Iran were going to miss out entirely even on this round. But I think they have turned their fortunes around, and I know a lot of people still have their doubts and concern on whether Iran are going to put together the performances to make it to Qatar again. I don't have no doubts. I don't have no reservations. They still have a very talented squad with guys like Alireza Jahanbakhsh, Mehdi Taremi, and Sardar Azmoun still leading the charge. And I think they're going to do fairly well in this group, especially against their Western Asian counterparts like a UAE, and Iraq, a Syria, Lebanon. South Korea, I think, is the team that would really give them a serious run for their money. And I'm not underestimating the other teams here. Anything could happen, but I think Iran has the know-how and the talent to get through this group and qualify for a 3rd consecutive World Cup. First in the group, Korea Republic. Korea Republic is just the epitome of, let's say, consistency. They have qualified for every World Cup since 1986 after they made their debut in 1954. They have a very solid league system and they have very quality players. Son Heung-min comes to mind. Hwang Hee-chan comes to mind. And this team has been so good at World Cups, even coming third back in 2002, albeit through very controversial circumstances. Must note that one. And they co-hosted with Japan as well. So that is something to note. They're currently managed by the Portuguese man, Paulo Bento, whose record reads 31 matches, 19 wins, 4 losses, and 8 draws. Pretty good stuff. It just shows the quality of the team, and they have so much depth. And I'm not going to get into every single player. It's South Korea here. These names are very difficult to remember. So I have them placing first in Group A and qualifying directly for Qatar. So let's give them a round of applause in advance. Iran and South Korea, in my opinion, are going to Qatar, and I think Syria are going into the playoffs round. So that'll do it for Group A, and we won't waste any more time. We're going to get straight into Group B, where there's Japan, Australia, Saudi Arabia, China, Oman, and Vietnam. So we are going to get straight into these predictions. Coming in 6th in Group B, I think it's going to be potential debutants Vietnam. Very good job by Vietnam for making it to this round. And they're currently managed by Korean Republic Park Hang-seo, and he's been in charge of the team since 2017. He has 25 matches, 14 wins, 5 losses, and 6 draws. They have been performing admirably, and they did well at the last Asian Cup. They did well for this World Cup qualifying cycle, and they're in the final round pretty much. Vietnam, very progressive team. Win Kong Pham, Win Kong Hai comes to mind, and a lot of the players are coming over from the under-23 team, a successful under-23 project that they have in Vietnam a couple years ago. So there's definitely talent in the team. They could pull off a few upsets, potential upsets here, but I don't think they will do enough to get a top 2 spot or even a 3rd place spot to make it to the playoffs. Don't get me wrong, I would love to see them do it. I would love to see a debutant, and it would be big if Vietnam makes it to the World Cup. But I think they should start eyeing 2026 and the 2030 cycles, where it's a little bit more realistic to qualify for the World Cup then. Coming in at 5th, I think it's the 2002 debutants, China. So even though China has really progressed in terms of their league system by investing tons of money into the Chinese Super League, bringing in a lot of big stars, that has started to phase out a bit, where caps have been put onto teams, and because it just got ridiculous, man. Players were leaving their clubs in Europe to go to China to just, I don't know, man. I think it was mercenary stuff, but it is what it is. They're currently managed by Lee Tae, who's a former player. He's been in charge since 2020, was assistant back in 2014. He has managed 7 matches. He has 5 wins and 2 losses, no draws. So, look, I don't think the league has boiled over into the national team in terms of any type of success, because the project, we could say it's a failed project. To actually improve the league by bringing in quality players from all over the world and helping it to rub off onto the Chinese players, nah, it hasn't worked. They have a few Brazilian recruits in guys like Ikerson. Wule is still around, and a few veterans are still a part of the team, but I don't think they're good enough to qualify directly for Qatar. So I have China coming in 5th. Coming in 4th, in my opinion, are the Western Asian potential debutants, Oman. Oman was grouped with Qatar just for let's say, formality purposes. Well, it was for the qualification for the 2023 Asian Cup, where Qatar had to participate in World Cup qualifiers, but it didn't really count for anything. And they performed well in their group that had Bangladesh, India, and Afghanistan. I think they lucked out with a very, very kind group there. And even if Qatar was part of the qualifiers, Oman would have came through as one of the best second-place team. They are a quality unit. They're currently managed by Branko Ivankovic, a Croatian, and he has done a great job with the team so far. 9 matches, 6 wins, 1 loss, and 2 draws. Not a bad record at all. Oman are a tricky team. 2017 Gulf Cup winners, so they have some quality. And they are a type of team that could actually creep up on you. If Asia has a sleeper team, in my opinion, it's Oman. I like to say Denmark, they are a sleeper team. Tunisia are a sleeper team. Oman is that sleeper team in Asia. I think they'll come in 4th. I think they're coming 4th. That's respectable enough. No big stars, no big standout stars. And I think they just put out a respectable performance and miss out on the playoffs. Going into the playoff spot, in my humble opinion, it's Saudi Arabia, who qualified in 1994, 98, 2002, and 2018. Could they make it to back-to-back World Cups here? I'm going to leave that one hanging for now. I'm going to leave it hanging for now. But eventually I will have to make a call, and I will have to do it very, very soon. But for this video, I have them coming in 3rd in the group and going on to the playoffs to play against Syria. That one will be a really, really interesting one if it is to happen. They're currently managed by international extraordinaire Hervé Renard, who only seemed to be managing a lot of international teams. He was in Africa and he won many things over there. So look, he's a renowned manager. He knows his job very, very well. And let's see how far he could take Saudi Arabia. I think he's going to take them as far as 3rd in this group. This is a very difficult group with Australia and Japan. Obviously, I have ahead of Saudi Arabia. But I'm not going to write them off completely, though, because they could take us by surprise, because they do have quality in their team. Salem Al-Dassari, Fahad Al-Muralad. There's Salman Al-Faraj, Yasser Al-Sharani comes to mind for the talented players in their team. And we could see Australia in the playoffs again to meet Syria. That'll be something, right? That'll be round 2, basically. So I have Saudi Arabia coming in 3rd. In terms of the team coming in 2nd in this group, I'm going to say it's going to be the Socceroos Australia, where I just found out from someone in the comments that Australia is on lockdown right now and their September home matches will be played abroad. I think he said they'll be played in Qatar. So this is just new to me, and let's see if it will actually affect the Australian team. If it's going to work in their favor or if it's going to work against them. But what this team needs to do is to just focus, adapt to the situation, go out there and play the best football they know how to. The team still has a lot of quality in there. Machilecki, you have Jackson Irvin, you have youngsters like Awema Bill coming through, Riley McGree, Daniel Arzani, and Matt Ryan is still in the goal, so we know there's quality there. And I could go on and on with the names, but the Australian team still have a very, very good base to work on, and they're currently under the tutelage of Graham Arnold. So I think they have a good man in charge, they have a good team, and I think they're going to be in Qatar 2022 World Cup, just like they were in the 2018, going through the playoffs. They got the better of Honduras in the intercontinental playoffs, but I think they're going to do themselves one better and qualify directly this time around. So let us see. Let us see if they prove me right or other teams behind them prove me wrong. Number 1 in this group, it's a no-brainer. The Samurai Blue, Japan. And they're currently under the tutelage of Hajime Moriyasu, who's been in charge since 2018, has managed in 39 games, won 28, lost 6, and drew 5. up until the time of research actually for all of these. Look, Japan made their debut in 1998 and have qualified for every single World Cup since then. That's a sign that there's continuity, there's quality, there's a very good league system that keeps churning out these quality players year after year. This squad is so stacked up. I'm not even going to get deep into all these players. Nagatomo is still around. There's Takumi Minamino of Liverpool. There's Takehiro Tomiyasu just signed for Arsenal. So you see there's quality there. There's young Takefusa Kubo. And there's Yuya Osaka still there. Ritsu Doan. Listen, man, I could go on and on and on with these names, man. Genki Haraguchi. The names, listen. Takashi Inui. Listen, I could go on and on with these names. Maya Yoshida is still part of the national team setup, and they just have quality overload in that team. And I'm going to say they qualified directly as the #1 team in Group B. So I have Japan going to Qatar, Australia going to Qatar, I have South Korea and Iran going to Qatar. So what's different from the last time around? Saudi Arabia qualifying directly. Are we going to see the same 5 teams back at the World Cup? Possibly. But it would be nice to actually have maybe a new mix. If there's 5 teams qualifying, let's say we have 2 different teams than the last time, that'll be nice. But these are just my prediction after assessing all 12 teams remaining in AFC Asian qualifiers for the 2022 World Cup. Guys, I'm your boy Dominic Rich. These are my predictions. As I said, leave yours in the comment section down below. I will definitely appreciate that. I've been working very, very hard. So if you could share this video, please do me a favor and share the video to help it reach more eyeballs. Okay, I'll definitely appreciate that. So guys, I'm your boy Dominic Rich. Subscribe if you're new. Like the video if you like it. As I said, let me know your thoughts down below. And until my next one, I'd like to say thanks for watching. Peace out. Rich Squad. Peace. Namaste.